Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Skippers from Hutchings Elementary. I hope you'll join me in drawing this seascape here with the sailboat that's floating along. I'm going to start by getting my center post here that's going to hold my two sails in place. Then I'm going to move on to the bottom part here of the boat. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space there so I'll have some room there for my flag. So first I want to start by drawing a very narrow rectangle kind of down the center here. I'll leave a little bit of space there at the top. I'll have a little bit more space maybe down here at the bottom to have room for my boat and the waves. So after I get my pole here, I'm gonna come across and I'm gonna do a little bit of a curve that goes across the bottom, just slightly curved up at the ends. And I'm gonna put another line just like it underneath. That's gonna help give me a little bit more detail here to my boat instead of making it too plain. All right, then I'm gonna come back to the edges and I'm gonna curve these kind of down a little bit. So it'll be sort of pointed at the top, but I'm not gonna close up the bottom here because this is where I wanna put some of my waves. All right, I'm gonna save that step for later. I'm gonna come back here to the top and I'm gonna draw a curve down kind of towards my boat, but I'm not gonna let it actually touch the boat. By putting a curve here and adding a little bit of curve here along the bottom, it's going to help make my sail look like there's some wind that's kind of blowing that and kind of pushing it along here in the water. All right, I'm going to come back up to the top and draw a straight line down here. It's kind of going toward my corner of my paper, and I'm going to give that another little curve and close that up, and that gives me my two sails, okay? Once I have this much done, now I'm ready to go in and start adding some of the details of my water. So I'm going to start by making some waves that are about the size of my finger, and I can kind of just eyeball that to make sure that they're not too big, they're not too small, because I actually want to come in and add some waves down below that are going to be a little bit bigger, that looks like maybe they're a little closer to where I'm standing. And then I'll have some smaller ones that look like they're way back in the distance here. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe add a couple of my bigger ones down towards the bottom of my paper. And then I'm ready to come back here and I'm going to go a little bit smaller now. I don't even need to go all the way across too much because it really just sort of implies that there's a lot of waves in my water. I'm ready to close it up now. This is where I want to have a long line that's going to go from my edge to my sail and on each side of my sailboat. So I'm going to come up a little bit higher and make even smaller little curves here, little pointy, to make it look like I've got my waves way off in the distance. Make sure I stop where my sailboat starts. All right, I've got the details of my water. I'm really ready to come in now and just add a few other details. So in my background, I'm going to make some puffy little clouds. I like making mine with curves of different sizes, some big, some small, rather than doing loopies, because I feel like it makes it look a little bit more realistic this way. I think I'll add another one over here, maybe not even the same size. And I think it's kind of fun to maybe make it look like the sun is poking out behind the clouds a little bit. So I'm just going to add part of a circle. I think that looks kind of neat. All right, I'm going to put a few little birds here flying in the sky. You can add as many of those as you'd like. I'm going to come back now and add a little bit of detail here by putting my flag up here on the top. I make a straight line up and then I'm going to make some curved lines to help make it look like my flag is kind of blowing. It's kind of like a sideways V, but a little wavy. I'm going to add just a couple other little lines onto my sail just to make it not so plain. And I am done. I hope you'll give this a try and have some fun making this neat little sailboat scene. So good luck.